Back, yo, fresh from work, still my work clothes, yo. Just got in. It's 1 o'clock in the, no, not even midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, 1 o'clock in the morning. Anyways, back with another video, I guess. I feel like I have a lot of energy, but at the same time I don't. I gotta motivate myself, you know? Motivate myself to keep going with the grind on YouTube. The grind never stops. It only stops when you stop. Grind always continue. I'm so tired. I just want to go lay in my bed and sleep. But then I'll never make it. I need some motivation. Motivation to keep me up. Maybe some music. I need some music to, keep me up. What's some good music I can put on? Someone singing or whatever. You know? I know which one. Give me a sec.
Nationwide.
As I was making my last video talking about the IDW characters, I searched around online for people's opinions towards the IDW comic series, just to see if the majority of fans were on the same page as me. Do they like the new characters? Do they like the writing, the art, all of that? Even with all the Sega mandates IDW faces, I think they do a pretty good job working around those mandates. In my opinion, that is. But now the other question I wanted to figure out is everyone down with IDW being canon? I say yeah, what the fuck? At the end of the day, these stories are really cool and the new characters are mostly all great. I get a lot of joy from them, watching them interact with the main cast. But I did notice a lot of opinions are against the idea of the comics being canon to the games. A lot are down for it and a lot are not down for it. I'm only realizing this split now, and I kind of want to just go through the pros and cons and see if it's really a good idea. So just to keep it simple, I got 3 pros and 3 cons. Let's just go over each of them, starting with the pros. Pro number 1, more new characters to use in the games. So this one is the most obvious pro, I think. All of the newcomers in the comics could be showing up in the games now. Main titles, spin-offs, other media, whatever. Especially the multiplayer spin-off games, more playable characters is always a good thing. And IDW has a good amount of newcomers. You can watch my video explaining each and every single newcomer. Hashtag shameless plug. Please go watch it though, I spent a lot of time on it. It was like almost an hour long. Some of the newcomers can easily be playable in the main titles, such as Tango, who has a lot of potential for some crazy fun platforming with her long tail. Whisper with her variable whispins, allowing for some creative combat moves with all of her main whisps. Surge herself is literally just Sonic, but has a heavy focus on electricity. As much as Sega needs to utilize more of the original cast, I think it still helps to gain more characters to make Sonic's world feel a little bit bigger. Anytime there's a big event that includes almost every main Sonic character, it's always Team Sonic, Team Dark, Team Chaotix, Amy, and Silver. Is that a lot of characters?
Yes.
Yes it is, but it can't be those same group of characters all the time for a massive event. You don't even have to include all of them. This is the time to utilize the IDW characters and mix and match these characters with the main cast. More variety is always better, I think. Pro number 2, possibly get certain comic arcs made into the games. This pro is more of me having tons of freaking copium because I highly doubt they'll actually do it, but we all know the only arc that's really worth getting a full game is the Metal Virus arc. It offers an interesting gameplay gimmick of Sonic always being on the run. This can easily fit into the open zone style too, with Sonic constantly having to be moving around to keep his infection down, going through all the obstacle courses and always just running, always moving. It can even be like a combo system to like keep your combo going, and as you keep the combo up, Metal Virus infection goes down. Sonic can be going around towns and cities to fight zombots to prevent everyone else from getting infected, because no one else can get rid of the infection like he can, because he's fast. His speed is what keeps the infection down, and no one else can do it. This game could finally connect the islands and cities within Sonic's world, since Sonic does run around all over the islands and cities at different locations within this whole arc. So finally get like a solid ground of where everything is would be a nice first step into figuring out like what is Sonic's actual world, like how do they all connect within each other. However, it's still odd to not see any humans during this too, because, well, we'll go into that later. Spoiler, it's a con. But yeah, while I think the Metal Virus is the only one I can see getting a game, it's still possible that other arcs could get a game. This is including the spin-off titles too, because the next few issues is themed around Sonic Riders, and if we get a next Sonic Riders game, it could very well be based off from the comics. Getting these stories told and animated into the games or whatever would always be a treat, if done well, that is. And then pro number 3, comics will connect between the games. Comics can be used as a way to connect between the games, especially with games being more far apart from each other nowadays, especially with the main 3D titles, because games are getting bigger and they cost more and development takes a lot more years and stuff. So using the comics to kind of bridge those gaps, and smaller games too obviously, but the comics in between those smaller games too could work. What do Sonic and the others do after the events of Sonic Frontiers? You don't know. Tails, Amy, and Knuckles has set up their own goals for themselves for Frontiers, and I think the comics will be the one needed to focus on that. And I think that will be interesting to see for every game that gets released. The comics could also fill up any plot holes the game has left itself too, but I guess that's not something we should really rely on, but whatever. They're kind of already doing it with the prequel comics and the prequel animations and stuff, Sonic Colors got one, the Team Sonic Racing got one, and Sonic Frontiers with this whole Knuckles animation got one. So stuff like that, if they keep doing that, I'm okay with doing it. The only thing I just need them to do is actually put those stuff in the game so we can get some context to, some things that are not as obvious. Like, if someone never watched the Knuckles animation thing, then they're going to be wondering, like, how did Knuckles get there? He only briefly mentions that he got warped here from his home, and that's it. You kind of want to see it in the game. Even though it's nice that they made the animation, and it was really good too, like the animation and storytelling was like really good. Make Knuckles look really good in that. They didn't put it in the game and stuff. I don't know. I think it makes a difference when you actually put the stuff in the game, but whatever. Now we move on to the cons, starting with con number 1. Comics and the games won't have much freedom. This one I can see being a problem because if the comics and the games are sharing the same canon, then it almost holds each other back from doing certain things. I think the comics will be affected by this the most because the games, like Sonic Team, will be able to create whatever story they want, and the comics will have to write around that story whenever it comes or something. Whenever they catch up to that game, that is. Like a good example is the ending of Sonic Frontiers. Originally, I had this as a pro where the comics can connect in between the games, showing where Tails, Amy, and Knuckles are going to end up after setting their new goals and stuff. But that could also be a con as that limits on how they want to create their stories. Post Sonic Frontiers, they would have to set Knuckles, getting off Angel Island and trying to live his best life, trying to live a little like Sonic said, and Tails being on his own to become more reliable, and Amy traveling the world to share her love, bringing Cream and Sticks with her. And you have Sticks too. With her being mentioned, now they would have to bring Sticks into the comics before they catch up to Frontiers. Make it make sense, because if Amy mentions Sticks, then obviously they met Amy met Sticks before Frontiers, and then they become friends, so they have to somehow put that into the comics and bring Sticks into the canon. Sticks is now canon from the Boom universe. Not to say the Boom universe is canon, but Sticks herself is within the Sonic universe. Are you following? I hope you are. And it makes you wonder, what if they had something else planned that doesn't include Sticks in it? Too bad. They have to do it anyways. Now they have to create something to include Sticks in it and befriend Amy at least. And that's just one example, so it's easy to see this being an issue for the comics, not giving the writers enough creative freedom to make the stories they want to make. Con number 2, more plot holes and more lore confusions. So the comics being canon could potentially bring up more plot holes and confusion in the whole canon. For example, the humans. This is an issue in the games too, but more so for Sonic Forces since it was a worldwide event. And IDW had its own worldwide event too with the Metal Virus arc. We didn't see any humans infected. No gun, nobody. I'm pretty sure there's more examples, but I'm having a hard time remembering right now. But stuff like that, little stuff like that. Little inconsistencies, things that just gets left behind or whatever, I don't know. And I think as the comics and the games goes on, we'll likely have more mysteries popping up if Sonic Team and the comic writers are not careful and not coordinating with each other. And if I'm being honest, is that something we can really trust them for? Not as of right now, I don't think so. Even though they created this whole lore team that they're doing now to make sure everything is in order, everything's in check, there's no more plot holes or whatever, I feel like they're still gonna create even more plot holes, even trying to connect between the comics and the games and stuff, because they're already filling it with the games, and now bringing the comics might just overcomplicate a few things. Heck, just mentioning Silver and Blaze alone, like, what's their story? How do they fit in? How are they still traveling? Well, Blaze's at least makes more sense, but Silver traveling back and forth between his time period and to the present time. Do we even know they're gonna explain his stuff? Who knows? We don't even know. And then con number 3, characters are not consistent. This one I can easily see being an issue as it's already present within the games itself. The Sonic from Unleashed isn't the same as the Sonic from Sonic Forces. The big one is definitely Sonic Prime. Sonic is so much more goofy and clumsy in the show, and yet they claim it's the same Sonic from the games. Hell no, no it's not. It's not the same Sonic. This Sonic from Unleashed is definitely not the same Sonic from Prime. Prime is completely different, but they want to call it canon, whatever. Whatever, I ain't complaining. That whole plot got timeline swiped or whatever anyway, so. But going back to the topic, I feel like this could happen between the games and the comics, and not only Sonic but for the others too. Shadow being a topic of discussion every time he shows up in the comics. Ian Flynn is now getting more involved in the games, so it might be fine for the most part as he writes for the games now and the comics, so it probably will be easier to stay consistent. But other writers also work on the comics too, so they all have to like work together to keep things, you know, consistent. I'm no writer though, so I for sure don't know what advice I could give them for that. It's not in my department. I can only say just do your best. And from what I've seen too, everyone has issues with Ian Flynn's writing too, so a lot of people would see this as a con, as Ian Flynn, you know, being the main writer for all Sonic media and stuff. But that's it. Those are the pros and cons I present to you. I didn't go too deep into each topic. I just want to, you know, start the conversation about the whole thing, just get everyone talking about it and stuff. And I think this is where all of you come in. I would really like to hear all of your opinions about the whole IDW series being canon. Comment below and explain why you think it's a good idea and why it's a bad idea. I'm more in favor of it being canon, but I'd like to hear from those again that are against the idea. I want to, you know, see if you can, you know, convince me to see like why it could be a bad idea, because to be honest, I think the cons that I listed out today, I don't see them as being super bad. Like, it's like the pros that I listed outweighs the cons in my opinion, but some may see it the other way around, and I want you guys to, you know, explain to me in the comments why you think that way. And I'll read all the comics. I'm a small enough channel, so I don't get that many comics, so I'll read every single comment and try to, you know, engage with you guys and try to see your point of view. I don't know, but I'm gonna end it here. I hope this can create a healthy discussion. Like I said, maybe you can make your own video and then I'll give it a watch too. If you guys got a video of your own and want to talk about this topic and why you think it's a good idea or a bad idea, let me know. Let me know in the comments if you got a video of your own, and I'll happily watch it and stuff and hear your opinions out. Shoot, I might even make a follow-up video reading all the comics, checking everyone else's videos, and, you know, going over everything about this whole topic. I think it's an interesting topic, you know. I would like to hear what the fan base have to say. But I think that's it now. I don't really have anything else to say. But yeah, again, watch my last video. It's about all the IDW characters, where I go over every single one of them. Even the smaller side characters that show up like once or twice, I go over everybody. Everybody gets shown in the video. The new characters, Tango, Whisper, Surge, Kit, Starline, even the orangutan hippie guy. Everyone's getting mentioned in there. Go check it out, please. I spend a lot of time on it, and I appreciate if you like and comment in that video too, and subscribe if you want more. I kind of like making these videos now, so I want to try and, you know, keep doing more of this and stuff. So yeah, just show your support to this small channel. But that's it for sure. Now I'm done. I always drag out these damn outros. Alright, see you in the next one. Shadow being a topic of discussion. I don't know. Quick food review of Doritos new flavor, spicy garlic. So far, I don't know. Rating out of 10. I give it a 6.
I'll give it 5.
5? Alright, that's your food review for tonight. Next food review will be next year, May 2025. Thank you.